The night it happened was cruel and unforgettable, the kind of night that strips people down to who they truly are. Cold rain fell like needles from the sky, soaking the empty streets and silencing the city. Luxury cars passed without slowing, neon lights reflected on wet roads, and somewhere between all of that comfort and indifference stood a woman trembling under a broken streetlight, her thin coat no match for the freezing wind. At the same moment, a man who owned half the skyline sat in the back of a black car, staring out at the darkness, feeling more alone than he ever had in his life. This was the night when a lonely CEO met a shivering nurse, and nothing would ever be the same again. Before the story truly unfolds, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet miracles that happen when strangers cross paths, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who loves emotional stories, and subscribe to the channel for more heart-touching content. And tell us in the comments where you're watching from, because stories like this connect hearts across the world. Adrian Cole was a name that appeared on business magazines, award ceremonies, and financial headlines. He was known as a ruthless genius, a self-made billionaire who turned failure into fortune before the age of 40. His glass offices overlooked the city like a throne above the clouds. Yet none of that mattered when he went home. His penthouse was silent, echoing with memories he tried to bury. His wife had died years ago, leaving behind a small daughter and a hole that money could never fill. Adrian worked endlessly not because he loved power, but because work was the only thing that distracted him from the loneliness waiting at home. Every night he returned to a daughter who needed warmth and a father who did not know how to give it fully. Still broken, still grieving, Emily Carter had once dreamed of a simple life. She had studied nursing not for money, but to help people. She worked long shifts at a private hospital, caring for patients who rarely remembered her name. Her life collapsed slowly, then all at once. Medical bills for her sick mother drained her savings. When her mother passed away, grief followed her into every corner of her life. Rent became impossible, and promises from relatives faded into silence. One missed paycheck turned into eviction, and soon Emily found herself carrying her entire life in one worn-out bag, walking home from night shifts with nowhere left to go. That night, after a brutal board meeting and another argument with his inner demons, Adrian asked his driver to stop the car. Something about the sight of Emily standing alone in the rain unsettled him. She looked exhausted, her shoulders hunched, her hands shaking as she tried to protect herself from the cold. This was not curiosity or pity, it was recognition. He recognized the weight of loneliness because he carried it himself every day. Against logic and reputation, he stepped out of the car and approached her, not as a CEO, but as a man who understood pain. Emily was terrified at first, her instinct screaming danger. The world had not been kind to her lately, and trust felt like a luxury she could not afford. But Adrian's presence was calm, not threatening. He listened more than he spoke. He noticed the hospital badge still clipped to her coat, the cracked hands of someone who worked too much, and the quiet dignity she tried to hold on to despite everything. The rain soaked them both as time seemed to pause, two broken souls meeting at the edge of despair. What began as an offer of warmth and shelter slowly turned into something deeper. Adrian did not save Emily, he gave her space to breathe. He offered her a place to stay temporarily, no conditions, no expectations. Emily accepted because survival demanded it, but she promised herself she would leave as soon as she could stand on her own again. She had learned not to depend on miracles. Inside Adrian's world of marble floors and silent hallways, Emily felt out of place. Yet something unexpected happened. She met Lily, Adrian's young daughter, a child who smiled politely but carried sadness far beyond her years. Lily had grown up surrounded by nannies and tutors, but starved for emotional warmth. Emily, without trying, filled that space naturally. She cooked simple meals, listened to Lily's stories, helped her with homework, and stayed with her when nightmares came. For the first time since his wife's death, Adrian saw his daughter laugh freely. Adrian watched this transformation quietly. The house felt different, warmer, alive. Emily never tried to replace anyone, never crossed boundaries, never asked for more than she was given. She worked double shifts, saved every penny, and planned her exit silently. But hearts do not follow plans. Adrian began to notice the small things, the way Emily checked on Lily before leaving for work, the exhaustion she hid behind gentle smiles, the strength it took to keep going when life kept taking things away. Emily struggled with her own fears. She knew the world she was temporarily living in was not meant for her. She feared attachment because she had lost too much already. Some nights she cried quietly, reminding herself that kindness did not always last, that fairy tales were dangerous to believe in. Yet every morning, Lily's innocent trust made it harder to leave. The turning point came when Lily fell seriously ill one night. Panic gripped the house as Adrian froze, his power useless against fear. Emily took control, calm and steady, caring for Lily with the skill and compassion that defined her. Watching Emily that night, Adrian realized something profound. He did not just need help. He needed family. And Emily was no longer just a guest, she had become the heart of his home. Time passed, seasons changed, and walls slowly came down. Adrian began healing in ways he never expected. Emily found stability, respect, and a sense of belonging she thought was gone forever. They did not rush love. It grew quietly, rooted in trust, shared pain, and mutual respect. Two lonely people learn that sometimes life does not give you what you want, but what you need. Just before the story reaches its end, we'd love to know your thoughts. Comment below and tell us whether you believe destiny brings the right people together at the right time. In the end, Emily chose not to leave, not because she had nowhere else to go, but because she had found a home where she was valued. Adrian chose to open his heart again, not because he forgot the past, but because he learned to honor it by moving forward. Lily gained what she had silently wished for all along: warmth, stability, and love that felt real. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that kindness can change lives and that love often arrives disguised as chance, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and leave a comment. Your engagement helps stories like this reach hearts that are still waiting to believe again.